I'm Joan Henry Gates, and I'm back again with Real Women of Philadelphia. And it's side dish week, one of my favorite weeks, simply because I love the side dish. I find myself that when I cook the main dish, like if it's a meat or those kind of things, sometimes I get that a little dry. So my husband really loves when I put the extra effort into my side dish. The nice thing, it's just he and I home tonight. I can whip this up fairly quickly. And so let's get going. He's going to love this. Tonight I'm cooking with the Cooking Cream Santa Fe blend. And what this will do for what I'm making is a Santa Fe green bean. What this will do is it'll add all the creaminess, the flavor, and the deliciousness. You'll see. Okay. You know, it kind of reminds me of, well, let me start this first before I start telling you stories. What I've done here is, if you see on the plate, it's a ½ pound of green beans, which will feed me and my husband. And I've cooked them in just a little bit of water just until they're tender, and you'll see that they're nice and spongy. Those are just ready to go. In this other pan, I've got 1 tablespoon of oil. And to the oil I'm going to add, I have 1/2 of a large onion that I've cut into rings. I'm going to put those in first. And the reason I put those in first is because I don't want my garlic to burn. So next, after the onions, I'm going to sprinkle in 1 clove of diced garlic. Then 1/4 cup of green pepper. And I'm just going to stir those around until they get nice and warm. Oh, and then I'm going to add just 1/8 of a teaspoon of oregano. You really don't need a lot of flavors, because a lot of the flavor is going to be in your cooking cream. But I'm going to sprinkle that on. I'm just going to let that stir and saute. So anyways, the funny story that I had was it kind of reminds me of when I was younger, the green beans and the peas and the spinach and the kind of vegetables. My family absolutely loved vegetables. So we have a fairly sizable backyard. Now my father used to think it would be great, he and my mom, if they dug up that whole backyard, this was when I was younger, and plant vegetables. So when my mom was alive, we'd all get together and we'd pick all the peas and the spinaches and the green beans. Well, then my mom passed away, and my father thought, well, you know, I'm going to still do the backyard even though Mary's gone. I said, okay, Dad, well, we'll help you out with that. By then, we were young adults, not all grown up, but young adults. And I was pregnant with my first child. So, it got to be around August. I was 9 months pregnant, and my father called me and said, it's time to come over and pick the beans, or the peas. It was the peas or the beans, one of those. So I came over, and snotty as I was, I came over really pregnant, really big, and it was really hot in August, and I pulled them up all out of the ground. Anyways, Dad, this is for you. So these are nicely warm. So to this pan now we're going to add, I have 1 cup of, it's just chopped tomatoes, diced tomatoes that I got from the can. And this is 3 tablespoons of chopped chilies. I'm going to add those to that. Okay. Really pretty colors. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this saute and just simmer on medium heat for about 15 minutes. So rather than make you wait, I just happen to have in this pan here, voila. Excuse me. Alright, now you're going to see that everything is nicely softened after simmering for 15 minutes in this pan. So now it's time to add my cooking cream. Okay, and you'll see how creamy and delicious this is. It's going to add layers and layers of flavor to this wonderful dish. Set that right there. And I'm simply going to stir that in. course, I had to turn up the heat because, as I said before, it's hard for me to cook on medium heat. I cook more on medium-high to high heat. But I want you to notice how it's kind of transformed this dish of sauteed vegetables into this creamy and delicious topping. Now I'm just going to wait for that to bubble warm, because I like my food nice and hot. And then we're going to spoon it up. Trusty dog is at my feet waiting and watching and wondering when will she drop that lusciously smelling food onto the floor. I know she will. He's trying to levitate it from the stove, but it's not going to work. Okay. That's just starting to bubble. I'm going to turn it off. And I'm going to try to graciously, gracefully spoon it up on top of my green beans. This is the plate I'm going to serve it on. So when my husband comes in, he'll be so surprised. I'm just going to pour it on top of those green beans. Just like that. Just kind of smooth it out. Let your green beans pop up through so you can see what they are. And there you go. Santa Fe green beans. Wonderful side dish. I don't think you're going to be able to resist this one. Oh, hi, honey. I didn't know you were home. I guess we better have servings for... This is servings for 3 now. Anyways, thank you, Philadelphia.